Hey guys, it's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz, coming to you from sunny Bali. Man, today is another crazy day in crypto. Every day I'm checking my portfolio. Things are going up a lot, things are going down a lot. Overall, I'm very bullish long term. I am very heavily invested in crypto right now, guys. I have pretty much 95% of my assets in crypto, plus some leveraged longs. And I'm ready to lose 20-30% of my portfolio. Hit me, give it to me. I've got the strength to take it. I've made some profits recently, and the way I see it, if I lose those gambling on crypto going higher right now, then that's just the way it is. Of course, I have my stop losses, but I think there's a very real chance that Ethereum will get to 5,000, and honestly, it'll most likely get even higher than that. It's just a matter of time. I mean, think about it. Bitcoin is at 11,500 right now. It's got almost another 100% to go before it gets to its previous high of 20,000. And considering all the development that has been going on with Ethereum right now, I think it's only reasonable to assume that if Bitcoin, pumps, and even if it doesn't pump, that Ethereum will get some massive gains over the coming months and years. And it's really exciting to be in this space. I think Ethereum $5,000 is very easily achievable. And I think that its dependence on Bitcoin is decreasing more and more as we speak. So, 5,000 is just a matter of time, guys. So in this video, I'm going to go over the trade which I am in. I'm going to tell you why I'm so bullish about Ethereum, but I'm also going to give you guys a more sort of even-headed analysis on a whole range of factors which we will see based on Sandbase. So this is, for example, the number of daily active addresses, which unfortunately has been falling quite significantly over the past few weeks. And also social volume is seeing concerning lower lows. But again, these are short-term indicators, and I'm not too bearish based just on these. And then, of course, we have the trading volume, which is seeing higher highs. So that's a good sign. We will have a look at transaction volume, which, of course, is going through the roof right now. And hey, guys, if the Ethereum network is being used, what more do you want? That's going to create the value for the network. We will have a look at the MVRV, which denotes the number of holders of Ethereum for the past year, to see how much profit they're in and what that might or might not mean for the price. And then finally, we will analyze the top Ethereum holders and determine what, if anything, it means that they have been dipping recently in terms of the number of top Ethereum holders. And we will also take a brief look at this article from Altcoin Buzz from Jason Pizzino, where he talks about something which has already happened, and it's pretty interesting to see if this continues the way he hopes it will, or kind of semi-predicted that it will, then this could be very bullish for Ethereum indeed. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button, as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risks. So first of all, guys, I want to show you this chart. This is super simple. You know what this is? This is a massive, 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 massive support line. The most important line on this whole chart is this blue line right here. It's as simple as this. So you can see that we found resistance. It's basically the $400 level if we're keeping things simple. It's actually a little bit low, below 391. Let's just keep it at 391 actually. So you can see that we resisted here. This is the monthly chart, by the way, guys. So this is really the bigger picture. This isn't just, looking at lower term time frames. And again, we're going to look at some statistics which might show that there might be some sort of shorter term bearishness, but on the longer term time frames, things are looking pretty good. So over here, you can see we had resistance in June 2017. We resisted again in August and in September, but then bam, we went right through this. And when we went through this resistance, we saw a monumental 260% move. I mean, actually, it's much bigger move if you go from the very bottom. But what this means is that this is a very critical level. And then, of course, we came down here. We found support for a move up. And when we broke down from this level, we saw a very long and unfortunate bear market. But now, look at this. We've had one candle break above this level. And not only break above it, but close above it. So if we can have another monthly close above this $400 level, that's going to be phenomenal. And I honestly think it's very likely that we will, even if we might in the short term see, a dip. And just for your information, when it comes to Bitcoin, we also have one absolutely critical line. Here we're on the weekly chart, and this is the $11,500 level. Basically, we have closed above this already 2 times, 3 times we've closed above this on the weekly chart. And right now, we're just below it. I honestly don't think that we will break 11,100, but if we do, that is the next very important support. And if we do break that, then we'll probably find support around the $10,000 region. But if you're waiting for that level to buy in, you know, you might be disappointed. I'm personally ready for it. If it happens, I'll be buying back in, but I'm already in a quite large long position right now. And again, I'm stopping out pretty much the whole position down below 11,100. And that is because this is such a critical point right now. For Ethereum, for Bitcoin, I'm also long Ethereum with margin longs. I mean, in addition to my whole portfolio of spot longs. And the reason is that, you know, we are potentially at the beginning of something very bullish. Admittedly, we haven't confirmed a break above 11,500, you know, with a lot of volume, which is really what we would want to see. But we have several of these wicks just pushing us away from this level. Look, 1, 2, 3. And now I suspect that this fourth week, we will also have a wick pushing us right above this $11,500 level. And this could be the beginning of a massive new bull market. And guys, if you have a lot of altcoins right now, it might be an idea to start taking profits into Bitcoin and even Ethereum. Because if Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin starts making a massive move up, like it did back in 2017 in December, I remember in 2017 in December, I was mostly altcoins, and you know, my portfolio basically stayed stable for a whole month while Bitcoin doubled in value from 10K up to 20K. And I was like, well, this sucks. You know, everyone's texting me like, hey man, you must be making so much money, you're in crypto. I was like, yeah, not really. I'm pretty much just staying stable. And this is what happens, guys, is like when Bitcoin goes nuts, you know, the Bitcoin dominance could really increase and take value away from altcoins. That being said, you know, I have a Bitcoin position, but I'm still pretty heavily in altcoins as well. And to be honest, most of my Bitcoin position is in a leveraged long right now. So that means that, you know, if we go down below 11,100, unfortunately, I will get stopped out. But if we go up from here, you know, I'll be in a solid profit. And even if my Ethereum and altcoin positions don't gain much in value, my portfolio will, because I'm in this leveraged long. But guys, I don't recommend you going into leveraged longs, especially if you're already 100% in crypto. I have a very high risk tolerance. You know, you could call me a degenerate, you could call me a gambler, but you know, this is how I made all my money in 2017. I was just stubbornly long. I just had all my money in crypto. I'm like, I don't care if I lose all of it. Like I'm in this for the long term. And you know, I lost half of all of my money in the first month. I got in sort of June 2017 when Bitcoin was around $3,000. And I got into alts as well, and it went down to about 1.7 thousand, 1.8 thousand. My portfolio halved, all right, guys? I lost 50% of everything that I had, and I was like, I don't care. I'm in this for the long term. And then, you know, lo and behold, investing in a whole bunch of alts, I made a lot of money in Neo, OMG, Pundi X, and Ethereum, of course. And, you know, I made a huge amount of money. Now, of course, I lost a lot of that on the way down, but I still made enough profits to last me for, you know, many years of my living costs, which have been paid for and which are still being paid for by those profits. So, guys, this is a high-risk game. Be aware of what it feels like to lose a lot of money. Think very carefully, how would I feel? How would I deal with that? You know, if you're going to cry and you're going to get depressed and you're going to regret it for your whole life, then maybe don't do it. But if you want the opportunity of a lifetime, then hey, it might be the time. So in this Ethereum analysis by Jason Pizzino, Ethereum bulls break minor downtrend, but is it enough? So what he said here is that what we want to see for a continued bullish move is for Ethereum to defend the $415 level and then push above the current high of 448. So very interestingly, if we go down to the lower time frames, at the time he wrote this article, Ethereum was at 467. So he said we have to defend the $415 level, which we have so far. We have two nice wicks pushing us up from this level, 415. And then what he wants to see is a close above 458, 448 on high volume. And ideally for 1 day, better would be 2 days. So admittedly, right now is a slightly aggressive time to get in. But that being said, you know, we have dipped quite a lot. So, you know, that's why I'm personally in. I'm more of a aggressive trader. I like to take the sort of higher risk, higher reward plays. But, you know, if you do wait for it to close above 450 and then you wait for a couple days, that would give you more confirmation. Of course, it also means that you might, you know, have to get a much worse price. Who knows, maybe we even break previous highs in a couple days. But there's two different ways of getting into a market. One is when you have, you know, just sort of a pretty good level, but there's not really confirmation yet. There's just sort of some potential support there. And two is when you really have bounced off that support and you've given more confidence to the bulls that there will be a next move up. And the first level is higher risk, higher reward because you get in at a better price, but at the same time, you don't have that confirmation yet that we really are going to bounce from that level. And the second option is that you wait for this confirmation, as he said, giving confidence to the bulls if we have 2 days above $450. But then, of course, the price will likely be quite a bit higher already. And then, you also have to consider the fact that your stop loss will be lower because the previous low will be sort of further away. But in any case, now we're going to have a look at sentiment.net. I really like this platform. There's so many really interesting statistics over here. And you can check out the link in the description below if you want to check it out. They have a free version where you can see all these stats. You just don't have the sort of recent month. But then if you pay for it, then of course you get the most recent stats. But they also publish these articles on their insights page. So you can check this out at insights.sentiment.net. And here he says that Ethereum is the hot topic in crypto again. What are the bullish versus bearish cases for where things go from here? So there's a variety of factors that we're going to look in this article. Now, he talks about several concerning things going on, but there's also several bullish things. So let's have a look at all of these to see what they all mean. So first, he talks about the NVT model. So the sentiment NVT versus price model is indicating that August closed out on a fourth straight bullish month of a bullish signal with a continued trend of rising token circulation, which means unique tokens transacting on the network more than keeping up with a rising market cap. So note that this is most effective in predicting where things will look in the future month, as it's proven some great leading indicator potential. So this shows that the next month is more likely than not to be bullish, despite whatever short-term price action there might be. Now this is really exciting. Ethereum's on-chain transaction volume burst through 5 months high. So I can show you this in a chart more clearly, and that is this one. Have a look at this. Right now, the price, the Ethereum transaction volume has reached a high of $4.67 million on September 2nd, 2020. And the last time we saw highs like this was back in March 2020 when there was all this FOMO and FUD, well, actually people buying the dip, people selling the dip. So a lot of Ethereum being moved around, in terms of price. But right now, people are moving Ethereum around to actually use the network, right? They're getting into DeFi, they're getting into yield farming, they're getting into, low cap coins. They're trading on the decentralized exchanges. So, what more do you want? This is super bullish. And, we've had a big spike over here, which aligns with the increase in price. So this is, if you ask me, a very, very bullish sign. And it's the thing which I'm most bullish about. And here, coin supply continues to be offloaded from exchanges, particularly to whale addresses. So Ethereum's total coin supply being kept off exchanges continues to rise, rising to 94.5 million tokens. So what this means is that people had their money on exchanges, they had their Ethereum on exchanges, which mean they had the potential to sell it, but now they're taking it off of the centralized exchanges and putting them into wallets where they're essentially using it to transact, to buy other coins, for DeFi, for yield farming. Now, of course, they are also moving them to decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, where they could potentially be selling them for stable coins. But on the whole, it's definitely a great sign that they're moving them off exchanges, because this means that they don't want to sell them, that they want to use them, which is what Ethereum should be for, right? To be used. So the top 100 non-exchange addresses have increased the sum of their token holdings by plus 8.2% in the past 35 days. So that's a considerable jump. And this signifies confidence in the longevity and sustainability of an asset among investors who have the most at stake and, most importantly, the greatest impact on the markets. So again, this means that the whales are taking money out of their exchange addresses. They're moving them into, safer wallets. They're using their Ethereum for, transacting on the network. And this can only increase the value of Ethereum over time. Now, of course, there are some cases for bearishness, and this is honestly the most concerning statistic, which is that Ethereum price may be surging, but the daily addresses, unfortunately, are not. So as you can see from this chart, when Ethereum was at $400, we had a spike in daily addresses, in new daily active addresses, and that marked sort of close to the top of this steady rise in daily active addresses ever since we bottomed out in March 2020. But now, unfortunately, we saw a high of $438 on August 15th, where the daily active addresses decreased from the previous high. Then we saw another high in price, but we saw another decrease in daily active addresses. So this is basically a bearish divergence. And what this basically means is that, we're not getting enough new daily active addresses. So people are transacting a lot. As we've seen from this chart, there's a hell of a lot of transactions going on, but there's not a lot of new people coming into the space. There's not a lot of new daily active addresses. And this is understandable, especially if you consider the fact that a lot of the daily active addresses will be active based on, if it's profitable or not to be active, to send Ethereum, to use it for transacting. And right now, it's very high fees. So that's why we have a lot of transaction volume. A lot of the big players are moving Ethereum around and transacting with it, but a lot of new players basically can't get into the market, or it's not rational for them to be buying and selling and moving Ethereum around right now. So that is unfortunate. And that being said, we saw this bearish divergence over here when the price was at $430. Admittedly, we saw a dip all the way down to $384, and now we've seen a bearish divergence when Ethereum price reached $482, and we saw another dip. So I don't think that this necessarily means that we will see a huge dump now down to 350. We could, for example, see another move up, and then we will see how the daily active addresses, whether they increase. If the daily active addresses decrease again after another move up, yeah, that would certainly be concerning. But it's quite possible that the daily active addresses will actually start increasing, especially if Bitcoin gets super bullish, everyone starts learning about Bitcoin and Ethereum, new players come into the market. It's quite possible that this bearish divergence turns into a very sort of normal, healthy uptrend on the daily active addresses chart. So the next point, which is supposedly bearish, is that the one-year holders of Ethereum are averaging unusually high investment returns. So the MVRV, which is what this metric is called, is saying that in the case of those who entered into or added onto positions in Ethereum 1 year ago, the euphoria is extraordinarily high at the current moment, sitting at plus 63% on average. So let's have a look at that. So this is the MVRV. It's marked by the purple line here, and you can see that we had this spike where it was at 1.88, meaning that the average profit that these traders were in who bought Ethereum 1 year ago is about 88%, if I understand correctly. But the thing about this statistic, which I don't really like, is that it sort of pretty much just correlates exactly with the price. If you look back here in May 2019, we had a high, then we had another high, both on price and this statistic. So it didn't really show us any sort of a notable trend change. It was basically just moving in the same way as the price. So what this means is that a lot of people are in profit in Ethereum right now. And if you look at the history of this, it's actually been a lot higher in the past. I mean, look, we had an MVRV of 3.16 in the previous bull run. So, I don't think that this being at this level is particularly significant or bearish for that matter. It's quite possible that people who've held Ethereum since 1 year ago, they've made this profit, but, they're in it for the long term, and they're just like, well, I'm not going to sell until, I make serious gains, not just, 88%. So overall, although this is supposedly bearish, I don't think it's really that bearish, to be honest. And here again is another statistic which I don't think is that bearish, but nevertheless has been marked as a potentially bearish indicator, which is that the holder distributions show a downturn in the total amount of whales in the highest tiers. So the amount of overall top tier holders are slipping, particularly among the 1,000 to 10,000 coin bracket and the 10,000 to 100,000 coin bracket. So you can see that marked on this chart, the Ethereum holders distribution. Let's first of all look at just the 1,000 to 10,000. So it's been decreasing ever since sort of the 20th of January 2020. But we've seen a massive increase in price since then. So as I say, in January 2020, the price was hovering about $150. And these whales have been decreasing steadily since then, but the price has been increasing all the time. So the fact that they say that this decrease in these whale holders is bearish is a little bit confusing to me, because if anything, I mean, have a look at this. So we had a big dip between sort of July 2018 and January 2019. So let's have a look at what happened at the price in that area. So admittedly, this is not a great sign. In July 2018, over here, the price was at $450. And in January 2018, the price went all the way down to $75. So we did see a big dip in price, which correlated with this dip in addresses. And ever since March 2020, we've seen a dip in the number of addresses which are holding 1,000 to 10,000 coins. And since March 2018, we've actually been increasing in price. So you might consider this to be a sort of bearish divergence in terms of the number of whales holding Ethereum and the price going up. Now let's have a look at the 10,000 to 100,000 coin bracket. And here again, we saw, the highest point was in February 2018, and then we saw a low in February 2019. So if we go to the Ethereum chart, February 2018, we saw a price of $900, and February 2019, we saw a price of, just $150. So admittedly, it is a bit concerning that, we are seeing this big drop in the number of whales holding Ethereum. And, we've seen this drop since sort of the beginning of this year, but the price is going higher. So that is some reason for concern, admittedly. But, this doesn't mean that, they're selling all their Ethereum, or that, that they're bearish necessarily. Maybe they're just moving it to different addresses to take advantage of yield farming. That wouldn't surprise me. If I had a whole hell of a lot of Ethereum, and I know that people are making a lot of returns by staking it, by lending it out, by liquidity mining, then, I would probably move a fair bit of my Ethereum just to take advantage of that as well. So, just because they have less coins in their address, it doesn't mean that they have sold it necessarily. And honestly, if anything, it makes sense that now that there's so much reason to use Ethereum, that they would move some of their Ethereum out of these sort of holding addresses to new addresses to actually start using it. So, although it has correlated with sort of bearish price movements in the past, I don't think that it's necessarily that bearish just yet. But yeah, basically guys, I'm in Ethereum long right now. I got in at $440. I'm going to stop out most of my position at $420 because of course it's a margin long. I can't just hold it forever. And there is a higher risk over here because we don't have this confirmation of a move above $440 or sort of $450, which is an important level to hold. But it's just a risk that I'm taking. It's not for everyone. And for Bitcoin, also I'm in a position, actually I was laddering in between sort of 11,700 and the current level. And again, I will stop out at 11,100. If it does break through there, it will suck, because then we will very likely see another sort of strong move down to 10,000. But hey, that will present another buying opportunity. And I'll be happy to buy if we get down to that level. But if we don't, and we move up from here, we have another strong wick pushing us up from this level, things could look extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And again, I have altcoin positions, but I certainly, I remember what happened when Bitcoin really takes off. And, gold has been taking off, the dollar is going down. There's a lot of reasons for people to be hedging against the financial economy with Bitcoin, as exciting as altcoins are right now. And even though, Bitcoin progress hasn't been as sort of fast and rapid as Ethereum with all the scaling solutions and with all the use cases, Bitcoin has been here for a long time. And, if we move up from here, we could easily go to 14,000 would be the sort of the first target. That's the previous high. But, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see another few weeks of seriously bullish action, having Bitcoin for a sort of 50% move up. And if it really does move up that quickly, that fast, then it would be a good idea to get some Bitcoin right now. Alright guys, but that's been it from me for today. I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you thought of all the statistics, what you think of the bullish stats, the bearish stats. Have you entered any new Ethereum positions? When did you first buy Ethereum? When did you first buy Bitcoin? What alts are you in? What alts of yours have tanked? People are always telling about how much money they've made with altcoins, but they don't usually tell you about all the losses. And I saw Crypto Lark talking about, well, he didn't really talk about it. He just mentioned that there was Kimchi, which had just come out yesterday, and bam, minus 75.7%. So guys, be very careful if you're buying new random altcoins which you know nothing about. They can very often tank very hard. But all right, guys, that being said, I wish you the best of luck in trading. I hope you make a whole bunch of profits. I hope you tell all your friends about how exciting the crypto space is, and I will see you in the next one.